I am recording now. I'll do a proper intro, but we normally just shit around for a minute, I guess.
Yeah, I know how the show works. You guys talk and bullshit for a little bit until there's a lull in the conversation, and then Cory goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the thing starts.
Yeah. What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. I'm Jake, and that's Austin. What's up, Austin?
What's up, people?
Oh
I'm
my
Austin.
God. Oh my God, we got Austin
You
here.
may know me from all the times Cory and Jake have talked about me before.
Yeah, this is the Austin that Cory gushes over for some reason. I don't even understand what happened there. You just got. I feel like he pushes his love on you just to make me jealous.
Does it work?
It does. It infuriates me. I'm actually
Well,
surprised I had you on here because actually I just want to kick your ass.
Okay, that's fine. I
But
could take you in a fight.
but I thought it'd be fun.
I'm not this.
I thought it'd be fun to have you on the show today because Cory is busy doing whatever he does. And I figured, we could talk movies. You like movies, yeah?
I do watch movies.
So we'll do that. But I figure first, we say the thing we hate most about Cory. I'll start. I hate how perfectly round he is. Just that level of symmetry is just upsetting to me.
Yeah, he's like Roly Poly Oly from the Roly Poly Oly show.
What's your least favorite part of Cory?
I hate how just attracted I am just to his voice, even though like I've never seen him. I can't get over how hot his voice is. So it's just kind of infuriating.
I messaged him before we started doing this, and I'm like, we're gonna have a special guest and we're gonna shit on you. And the way we're shitting on him is just like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you have a sultry voice.
To be fair, that's how we shit talk in our group, where
That's true.
just like someone will leave and it's like, what's your least favorite thing about Nick Saban? And it's just like, I think it's just annoying how freakishly tall he is and still good looking.
I know. Isn't it upsetting that he's got these like spider legs, but he's also just like the most attractive thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
It's really upsetting. All right, let's talk movies. I've kept a list of every movie I've watched so far this year, and I did this last year as well. Every 3 or 4 months or so, I like to, catch Cory up on the movies that I've watched, and he's not here, so I'll do it with you. But before I get to my list, off the top of your head, because I'm sure you don't have a list, because I did not prepare you for this at all. Do you have any movies that you can think of off the top of your head that you watched this year?
I mean, I actually do have a list of movies I've watched.
Oh shit, pull that out. Let's go over it.
The issue is that it's from probably June of last year, and it's just all the horror movies I've watched every Sunday.
Oh, I'd love.
And it's way too long of a list for this fucking podcast.
Well, can you give me some highlights?
Yeah. Do you want like the worst? Do you want like the worst one or like the actual best? I mean, Parasite's on here. That's a good horror movie.
Is Parasite a horror movie?
It's like a thriller, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say it's a thriller.
Yeah, we count all that kind of shit on here.
Because I don't necessarily, I didn't watch Parasite and I'm like, oh, I'm scared. It's more of a thinker, really.
Yeah,
it's a great movie though. What else you got?
One standard movie on here that no one may have heard of is there's a movie called Down, I believe on Hulu. I think it's a part of their Into the Dark series, and it's about two people that get trapped on an elevator together over some holiday weekend. I can't remember off the top of my head. And they end up like, oh no, we're stuck here. But they end up like getting together, and they're like, oh well, we're kind of into each other, and they get drunk and they fuck, and then the girl finds out that the guy kind of planned all this, and it gets a bit psycho-killery.
Wait, so Netflix has like a Netflix dark sort of thing going on?
Hulu does. Hulu has a series called Into the Dark where they make their own horror movies.
Oh, weird.
Like one of them is the Puka series, which they actually made a sequel of.
The what now?
It's called Puka Lives, or Puka, I think is the name of the first one, and then the second one is named Puka Lives. It's about some like Furby type doll thing that they make up. And the first one is very much like a kind of Christmas Carol story where it's this dude kind of going through some weird stuff. And it's like, oh, this is your past, present, future. And then the second one is like a zombie apocalypse movie about the internet making this Puka doll into a creepypasta and it coming to life to kill people.
So what you'll notice from my list, and I'm not gonna get to my list yet because I want to know some more things that you've been watching. But what you'll notice from my list is I have one genre that is just absent, and it's just such a blind spot in my movie watching, which is horror films. It's just, and it's not that I even like dislike horror films. It's just that like for whatever reason I just don't watch them that often.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I watch pretty much.
That's like your thing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of horror film? Because like we were saying with Parasite, there's like different genres. I'd say like like the Saw movies are like what, like gore porn.
Yeah. I mean, I like movies that I guess you walk out of the movie and you're kind of thinking about it, I guess, for the rest of the night or whatever. Like The Thing will always be my favorite horror movie.
Yeah, I really like thrillers, like you said with Parasite, but more like the first one that comes to mind is Midsommar. That movie is just such a solid thriller, and one that you'll just like think about forever. But I wouldn't classify it as like a horror film per se. But I guess it is.
Yeah,
it's like a cult movie.
We're pretty loose with the horror because like that's all my movie list is all just horror movies. But it does get a bit out there with horror. Like we have Thanksgilling on here.
Yeah, because you like that cheesy shit, like Sharknado. Would that be considered a horror film?
Yeah, why not?
I think it is. Or is it a disaster movie?
I mean, I think it's more of a disaster movie. Like that's why I put Twister in.
Is a disaster movie like part of the horror genre though?
I think it's more like an action genre thing, if I'm being honest. Like 2012, that movie when it's just everything's just collapsing around them. It's a disaster movie, but there's nothing really scary about it. Just
or like that new one with The Rock, San Andreas.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I was thinking of Skyscraper.
It's same difference, right? Like this, like this. It's like the same movie. Or the first one that always comes to my mind when I think of disaster movies is The Day After Tomorrow. That one. But that's kind of like, it's kind of like horror-esque because you're kind of like on the edge of your seat, like people are gonna die or whatever. I don't know. Just like instead of Jason, it's the elements,
So, do you want to know the two worst movies on this list?
I'd love to.
There is one named Bad Hair, which is about a African American woman in, I want to say like the 80s or so, maybe 90s, and essentially she gets a weave put in, or she gets like a her hair essentially like surgically like sewn into her head or whatever, but it turns out to be evil hair that drinks blood and makes her kill people so it can keep on drinking blood.
That makes me think of that news story of the lady who put like Gorilla Glue in her hair.
Oh, yep. and she like tries to like kill it, but then she finds out that there's other people have the killer hair, and it turns them into like hair monsters trying to like run, like it's just mounds of hair coming after people. Oh god.
Oh, what's that one movie where like the vagina comes to life?
It doesn't come to life. It's called Teeth. I think is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it doesn't come to life. It's a vagina with a set of like sharp teeth on it, and guys keep trying to rape this girl, and every time they do, they get their fucking fingers or dicks cut off.
Oh, that's a classic one. Or the one where it's like a killer tire. Is that Rubber?
Rubber.
Yeah.
Yep.
Classic, dude.
Yeah, those are movies. Oh, and then the other one on this list is fuck, where'd it go? It is a zombie Christmas musical.
Ooh.
Anna and the Apocalypse.
Oh. What's that one about?
It's Christmas time, and then a zombie outbreak happens. So it's these kids like fighting off zombies, but it's also a musical, so it's like them singing while they're killing zombies.
I feel like Cory, because Cory is normally the guy where I like list off these movies, and he has no idea what I'm talking about. That's where I'm at right now with these horror films.
Yeah, well, that's all I watch. So when you get to your list, I feel like I'll be more Cory in that aspect.
I kind of came across a thing. I'm sure you've heard of it. The horror movie Iceberg. Have you heard of this? It's not a horror movie called Iceberg. It's the horror movie Iceberg, and it's like there's different tiers to like how bad a horror movie is, and it's like above ground Iceberg is like movies like Midsummer and like Hereditary, and then you get a little bit lower and you've got like the Saw movies, and then a little bit lower it's like Human Centipede. Then you get lower and you've got oh god, what's that movie? The one that's like the porn star becomes a snuff film director or a snuff film actor.
Serbian film?
A Serbian film. Yeah, that's on that list. And I watched a bit of a Serbian film, and that movie's just fucked up. And on top of it being like incredibly fucked up and just like what I perceive as just fucked up for fucked up's sake, on top of that, I feel like that movie has it's also just like a really bad movie because like it's shot like pretty weak, though, you know, like and the ADR is just horrible, and the Foley just sounds ridiculous. But then it's got like really horrible things in it, like yeah, I don't even want to say because you know, YouTube might get mad, but yeah, it's got some like really horrible stuff in it.
The Human Centipede 3 had a very similar, like, it had gone too far, I guess.
Yeah, those ones are really like self-aware though, because like the second one is like someone the jail warden watches the first movie.
That's the third one.
Is that the third one? Oh shit.
Yes, the second one I think is about a dude. I mean, I think it's the same thing where it's a dude watching Human Centipede and he's recreating it back at his house.
Right. Yeah, okay, so I've seen the third one then. Yeah, and it is just sort of fucked up for fucked up's sake. Yeah, it's a rough movie. Any other standouts for you?
Nah, I think I'm pretty set. I mean, Willy's Wonderland just came out recently, and that was a treat of a movie.
Oh yeah,
With Nicolas Cage fighting animatronics.
Oh yeah, I'm Nicolas Cage. Oh yeah.
Nope, he doesn't say anything in the entire movie.
we gotta steal the Declaration of Independence. Oh yeah.
He fucks a pinball machine. That's interesting.
Oh. Now I'm in. You know what I've always wanted to see? I wanted to see a movie where it's Nick Cage and Keanu Reeves and they play brothers. And the movie can be anything. I don't care what the movie is, but I just want to see a movie where they're together. They don't even have to be brothers. They could just be friends. I just think the two of them together in a movie would be like a dream come true. Just like they have this energy that I would like to see. Throw in Jeff Goldblum. Throw Jeff Goldblum into the mix, and then we've got ourselves a real banger of a movie, I think.
I think I've got a Keanu Reeves movie on the list.
Oh yeah?
He has done horror. Yeah, it's called Knock Knock.
Oh, what's that?
he basically he plays an architect, like a dad who's an architect, and his wife and kids leave for the weekend. He stays back to work, and two hot girls come and knock on his door, and
Of course.
he ends up fucking them, and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
they threaten. They're like, "Oh, we're only 16, and unless you do what we say, we're gonna send you to jail."
Oh,
And then he
yeah.
still tries to kick them out, and then they end up like tying him up and torturing him, and I don't know. It's
There's
an
a
odd movie.
there's a movie very similar to that with Anton Yelchin is in it. Very similar premise, and I'm blanking on the name of it right now, which is too bad. But that was like Anton Yelchin's last movie before he passed away. Yeah.
Enough about shitty horror movies. Oh, sorry.
Another shitty horror movie that Keanu was in. It was called Cyberpunk. That was quite a.
That was a train wreck, not a horror movie.
I was disturbed by it. He's also a Neon Demon, and that movie sucks too. That's kind of a horror movie as well.
I mean, he's a good actor. I just don't think he always picks the best roles, just like Nick Cage.
I know. That's why I want to see. Well, I think Keanu a lot like Nick Cage, where it's like, I don't know if they're good actors. You know, it's like I can't put my finger on it. Like sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. I don't know.
John Wick is pretty good.
Yeah, but that's just him doing like action shit. Which I guess he shines in that kind of thing, because Matrix, same thing.
Yeah, I think you got to pick your role. Like, I wouldn't call The Rock a bad actor, but it's also like he's usually like the action movie dude that's big and muscle.
I guess I've never seen The Rock like try and do a serious role. But he's a good like comedic actor. I wouldn't call him like a good actor, you know. Yeah. But you know, maybe one day we'll see like this sort of like Matthew McConaughey resurgence of The Rock, where like he makes this like crazy comeback where he's just like in these very serious roles, and you're like, damn, The Rock can act, dude. You remember that with Matt McConaughey, where it was like he did was rom-coms for like 20 years, and then out of nowhere he did like True Detective, and he did Dallas Buyers Club, and then he did Interstellar, and you're like, what the fuck? Matthew McConaughey is actually a good actor.
Yeah, it went from all right to like, oh, he can actually do stuff.
Yeah, he went from all right to all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't he? Doesn't he have that stupid like line that became a meme that was like, it'd be real cool if you did? Is that him, or am I thinking of another actor?
He had the one line where it's I keep getting older, but they keep on staying the same age. Got that one. Classic.
A classic.
Classic.
That does wonders at elementary schools.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that movie? Dazed and Confused. It's a classic film. It's classic. Well, should I get into my list?
Yeah, dude, let's go through it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe you've seen some of them, and we can.
Hopefully.
Let me pull it up here.
Question: are movies from your car reviews on this list?
Some of them, yeah.
Because I've watched one movie with you.
Oh yes, that is for sure, and we will talk about that too. So this list is not movies that came out this year. Some of them did come out this year, but these are just like all the movies I've watched this year. So yeah, some of these might be old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing with the horror list. It's not necessarily movies that came out in 2020 or whatever. It's just movies that you've watched throughout the X amount of time. Yeah,
and admittedly, my list, I think in normal years would be a lot longer, because I am the kind of person that likes to go see all the new movies, but like I'm not going to the theater still. Like there's movies like that new Bob Odenkirk movie that just came out called Nobody, which is sort of everyone's saying it's like Bob Odenkirk's John Wick. Yeah, I haven't been able to see it because it's only in theaters. So like, there's movies like that where it's like I want to see it, but there's just no way to watch it yet. So my list is shorter than it would normally be, but before I get into my movie list though, there's a couple of shows that I've been watching. Specifically, there's one show called Invincible that I've been watching, which is super fucking good. It's not fully done yet, but it's like the Justice League cartoon, but it's intense. So like it's got the campy jokes of the Justice League cartoon, but then the movie and then like the first episode ends with the Justice League of sorts all getting murdered, and you see like a dude's eye pop out and like brains get splattered on the wall. So like it's pretty intense, and it's a very, very good show. The cast in it, I just want to pull up a cast list here. Here we go.
Is this the show on Amazon?
Yeah. So the Superman, the guy who plays like the Superman type character, is played by J.K. Simmons, which is incredible. He's fantastic. Invincible, which is like, you know, the title character, he's played by Stephen Yeun, which he's great. There's a character called Adam Eve, who's played by Gillian Jacobs. There's Zazie Beetz is in here, Mark Hamill, Seth Rogen, Sandra Oh. Walton Goggins is incredible in it. Oh my god. And Mahershala Ali is in it. It's just like a really stacked cast, and it's really, really, really fucking good. So
it sounds like an all-star cast.
Yeah. I guess Justin Roiland shows up. Yeah, it's really, really stinking good. So could not suggest that enough. There's another show that I've been watching, which is on HBO. What is this show called? It's got the lady who played she played the mother in How I Met Your Mother. It's called Made for Love. And it's got Ray Romano in it as well, which Ray Romano is like a surprisingly good actor. He just kind of like pulled it out of nowhere. Like, this dude can actually act. And this show is basically like this lady married an Elon Musk type. And Elon Musk basically like put a chip in her brain and is like making her stay in this house, and she runs away from it, and basically he's evil and she's trying to escape him. And it's very funny, very dark humor. Really good show though. It's not done yet. There's only like 3 episodes out so far, but really good show. Another show that I've been watching a lot of was Q Into the Storm, which is about the QAnon stuff. So if you want more of an insight on like what's up with Q, what is QAnon, where did it start, it's super fascinating because this guy goes deep. He goes into like what 8chan is, if you know what 8chan is, and like what 4chan is. And this guy kind of
go on those sites.
Yeah, don't go on those sites.
Not
but
anymore. That was my high school days.
Yeah, 4chan for sure was my high school days. I wouldn't go on them now, especially 8chan. But like he basically, the documentarian like tracked down the 8chan creators and stuff, and he like highly interviewed them, kind of tried to figure out what's going on with these 8chan guys, and basically revealed who Q is. It's basically stated who Q is. He never explicitly says I'm Q, but it's pretty clear that this is the guy who makes all the Q posts, and he's just some dickless loser. So all you Trump supporters should feel ashamed of yourself, honestly. One more show One more show, and then we'll get into movies. This is the first time I've talked about shows like this, but I've been watching a lot of shows. I want to talk about them. Another show I've been watching is I'm like halfway through it. I was watching it was a mini series on HBO called Chernobyl, and it's about Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And it's very, very good. The reason I started watching it is because I found out the creator of this show is doing the Last of Us show for HBO. Like, he's the one directing and writing it. So I wanted to check out Chernobyl, and after watching Chernobyl, I can happily say that I think Last of Us, the TV show, is going to be kick-ass, because he is fantastic.
I had a question about Chernobyl, the show, not the city.
Yeah.
Is it like a documentary, or is it like people living in, like, is it like a drama about people living in Chernobyl before it melts down, or
it's not a documentary. It's a miniseries, and it's
Okay.
the very first step, much like, and I hate to compare it to this because it's much better than this, but much like Pearl Harbor, you know, the movie Pearl Harbor, and how it opens.
I do.
It opens with the Pearl Harbor event. This show opens with Chernobyl happening, and the show is kind of them dealing with the Chernobyl meltdown after the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very fascinating, very good, very, very good. It's one of those shows that you're like, damn, this feels like a movie. That was on? It's on HBO. Yeah.
Okay, I might check that out before my HBO Max goes
Dude,
out.
HBO's killing it right now. I'm actually like on the HBO app right now, and like, yeah, man, they just, there's so many movies on here. They just added New Mutants, which I hear is bad, but like, it's cool it's on there.
Did they? Fuck, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I know, same. I gotta watch it too.
What comes out next week? Mortal Kombat comes out next week on HBO.
Yeah. I'll definitely be watching that. Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the movie list. So, first movie I watched this year was that Pixar movie called Soul, and I put it off for a long time because I was like, I don't know, you know, it's Pixar. They're good movies, but like, I don't know, I don't care that much. And I watched it, and I was just blown away. I was blown away by that movie. It's just visually incredible. The premise of it is much deeper than I was anticipating. Like, I mean, the whole premise of it is basically this guy dies, and it's about him learning to accept death, basically. And that's the entire premise of the movie. I do think it's sort of bogged down by some of the, like, they put, you know, some like kiddie stuff in there, obviously, because it's a Pixar movie. But I almost feel like it's bogged down by some of that stuff, and it's like I'd rather just see some of the more of the human stuff than the soul stuff, which is interesting to say about a movie about soul. But like they did such a sorry, go ahead.
I do think Pixar does that sometimes. Like, they kind of have the habit of doing that, where they'll kind of put, I guess, the kiddier stuff inside like these more serious moments. And I don't know if that's maybe to, I guess, give parents something to watch. Like, the parents can almost enjoy the movie along with their kid enjoying the movie, because if they just make the movie all sad and don't have any of the kiddie stuff in there, then the kid's probably less likely to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because I felt like the human stuff and like him dealing with his like family and him dealing with like his failed music career, which, you know, as a failed musician myself, I can relate to that pretty heavy. It was just like, that was super compelling and interesting, that like I just kind of wanted them to stick with that more, and I think kids would have followed along, but you know, they just needed some more, like, you know, he turns into a cat in the movie, but like, I don't know, it works, you know, it's very good. It's a very, very good movie. I would definitely check it out. Another movie I watched was a movie starring Gillian Jacobs and what's his name? Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, and it's a movie called I Used to Go Here, and it's about Gillian Jacobs' character, whose name I'm forgetting now in the movie, but she goes back to like speak at her college, and she meets up with her old professor, who is played by Jermaine Clements, and it's sort of the most, I would say it's the most millennial movie I've ever watched in my life. It's very much a movie about millennials, for millennials, just saying, hey millennials, you're getting old. Deal with it. Yeah, it's basically her like trying to relive her college life, but it's not as cheesy as you'd expect it to be. It's actually pretty good. Because at the end she does finally like realize like, oh yeah, I kind of like being a 30-year-old, you know. Are you still there? Hello?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're just very quiet.
Okay. I was moving my mic away from my mouth to drink some water, so I may now put it back the right amount.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Sorry about that.
Next movie I watched was a movie called King of Staten Island. This one had Pete Davidson in it, and Bill Burr is in it as well. Pete Davidson kind of plays the same character he plays in everything. I don't know if you know who Pete Davidson is. Do you know who Pete Davidson is?
Is he the SNL?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy who dated Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
He plays like the same character and everything. Deadbeat 20-year-old guy. That's like his thing. But it's very much like a love letter to firefighters, this movie, because I guess Pete Davidson in real life, his dad died in 9/11. So like he's pretty close to that. And this movie, his dad in the movie died as a firefighter, and Bill Burr starts dating his mom, and he's also a firefighter, and Pete Davidson like hates firefighters now because he feels like his dad betrayed him or whatever. But then throughout the movie, he learns to like grow and accept and appreciate what his dad and stepdad do for the community. And yeah, it's very much a love letter to firefighters. It's pretty good. It's pretty okay. Kind of cheesy. A lot of the jokes are pretty dumb, but like I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, I feel like Bill Burr's been acting more and more.
Yeah, that was
Like,
the surprising thing about the movie was Bill Burr was actually pretty good in it.
yeah, I mean, he was one of the best parts of Mandalorian season 2.
Oh yeah. He was pretty good in season 1 as well. Yeah, but he definitely had like the biggest character arc of season 2. Yeah, he's pretty good in that one. I kind of hate Bill Burr though as a person. I will change my attitude if he wants to come on the podcast, but
or maybe you can go on his podcast.
yeah, that'd be fine too. But I just feel like he's an asshole, and I know that's like his shtick or whatever. But like, it may be your shtick, but it's a bad shtick because you just seem like an asshole, and I just don't like you. Seem like a real dickhead. Sometimes he says things though that I'm like, that's good. It's pretty funny. He reminds me of my grandpa a lot in that way. You know, where my grandpa would like say some like really outlandish shit, but every once in a while he'd say something you'd be like, that was funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the kind of out there jokes that you don't know if you should laugh at or not. But occasionally they'll come up with a good one.
Yeah. That's kind of where I land with Bill Burr. It's like, you're just kind of a grumpy old guy, but every once in a while you're funny. But his acting career so far has been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Um.
I think he's also part of an animated show.
Oh yeah, F is for Family.
There you go.
Yeah, I've never actually watched it, but I think he
Yeah.
actually writes that show too. So
Oh, does he?
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Next movie on my list is a movie called Chef, which is written and directed and starring Jon Favreau. Do you know who Jon Favreau is?
I do.
Yeah,
I am familiar with the Favster.
the Favster. He is famous for directing Elf. He also, it's true, he did. He also directed Iron Man.
Yeah, that's more of what I would know John Favreau for.
I don't know, man. I feel like Elf is a pretty substantial and important movie, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I know like Iron Man is like,
the
but like
start of a billion-dollar franchise.
he wouldn't have gotten Iron Man if he didn't do Elf, you know?
Yeah,
That was definitely like his first big thing. And also I would say that's kind of like the thing that really launched Will Ferrell.
I think Will Ferrell was big before that. Didn't Elf come out after Step Brothers?
No.
Oh, did it not?
It was before Step Brothers. Because I remember Elf came out right after Old School, which Old School was like the first thing that Will Ferrell did. That was like the movie where he was Frank the Tank, you know? But he was still more of like a side character in this. This was like a movie where it's like we get to see Will Ferrell like be the guy, you know? He did do Night at the Roxbury too, I guess, but that was just an ass movie.
I was trying to think of a movie I could think of, but I think they all came out afterwards. I was like, well, Anchorman, but that Anchorman
that was
came
afterwards.
I believe. Also.
Yeah.
You might be right there. Maybe. Also, Peter Dinklage, he was an elf.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Zoe Deschanel. Yeah, stacked cast. Anyway, Chef. Getting distracted here. No, that's good. That's what this is supposed to. This is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, going tangents.
Yeah, Chef was, like I said, directed, written, and starring Jon Favreau, and it's about like a world class chef, like a Jon Favreau plays a Gordon Ramsay type, you know, like he runs a big 5-star restaurant, but he's not like the head of the restaurant. He's just like in charge of the food. And he gets frustrated that he has no creative freedom at this restaurant and ends up leaving and starting his own food truck. The movie's honestly incredible, and like all the shots with food are just like, damn, that looks good, you know? Like every time that you see them cooking something, you're like, damn, that looks good. And it's like a really good like father-son movie. But apparently Jon Favreau liked making this movie so much and like doing the food stuff. He brought a guy on that movie to like help him like learn how to make food properly. And he liked doing that so much that he created a show on Netflix called The Chef Show, where it's just Jon Favreau and the guy who helped him do all the food stuff in that movie. They just go around and make crazy food on Netflix. And that show's incredible as well. But there's no narrative to that show. That's more of just like your classic cooking show. But Chef, the movie, is really good. Really, really good. Really, really good.
I might have to check that out. Might have to check that out then.
You have to watch it. Yeah, it's good.
I feel like him as an actor, it's like I guess I'm just not a huge fan of him as an actor. Like even in the Marvel universe, he's Happy Hogan. It's like it's alright.
Yeah,
I guess it's good. I might have to check it out then.
I think it's great. But it's also weird to see because like I feel like every time he acts in a movie, he's like with Vince Vaughn. I feel like him and Vince Vaughn have done like a million movies together. But he's not in this one, so God bless. Like him and Vince Vaughn, they did that movie Swingers. Not Swingers. Was it Swingers? No. Might have been Swingers. I don't remember the like poker movie back in the day. Anyway, then we kind of talked about this movie on this show. Me and Cory watched Infinity War.
Okay.
There's not much to be said about that movie. Classic, really good. Cory hated it. Cory can suck my fat penis.
I was going to ask, is your list all of the movies that you haven't seen before, or is it just movies that you happen to have watched in the past 3 or 4 months?
Oh yeah, they're movies that I just happen to have watched.
Okay.
So like I had seen Infinity War before. I had seen Chef before as well.
Okay.
And then another movie that I talked about on this channel before is a movie called Valentine's Day. Absolutely atrocious, this movie. It's, oh god, it's so fucking bad. Yeah, just don't watch it. It's one of those movies where it has like just a shit ton of celebrities in it, and that's all it has going for it, you know?
Dude, it's got George Lopez in it.
Yeah, it's got George Lopez, Ashton Kutcher, Julia Roberts, Emma Roberts, Taylor Lautner, Taylor Swift. Who else? Jennifer Garner, Anne Hathaway, Jamie Foxx. Yeah, but it's, you know, it's one of those movies where like there's like 3 different love stories going on at the same time, and then they all intersect at some point. It's really bad. It's really fucking bad and stupid. If you want to hear me talk more about it, there's a video on the channel.
Yeah, is it like a rom-com, I assume?
It is. About Valentine's Day. Oh boy, it's bad. Anyway, next movie I watched was classic film, American Graffiti. I had never actually watched American Graffiti before. This was the movie that George Lucas made before Star Wars. And it's pretty good. It's like I'm trying to think of like a good cuz I feel like they make a movie like this all the time. It's kind of like Dazed and Confused, where like, you know, Dazed and Confused is plays, and we were just talking about Dazed and Confused earlier. Dazed and Confused is sort of like a movie that's set during the like 80s or 90s or whatever. But it's like the 70s, right?
Right? I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dazed and Confused is like the 70s, but it was made in the 90s. This movie is like that, but instead of a movie in the 70s made in the 90s, this is a movie about the 50s made in the 70s. So it's like a take on the 50s, but like from a 70s perspective, and it's just like sort of a comedy, dudes being bad, you know, high school kids being stupid, that sort of thing. It's all right. It's got Harrison Ford in it.
Yeah, I was about to say Han Solo's in it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's no Star Wars, but it's interesting to look back on, like, you know, what George did before Star Wars, you know.
Yeah. Didn't he do another movie beforehand, or was it just American Graffiti?
Yeah, he did THX, which is a phenomenal film. I love that movie. That movie's great.
I have not seen it.
That's more in the vein of Star Wars. THX is a lot like. Did you ever see the movie Equilibrium?
Maybe. Let me look it up real quick.
It's got Christian Bale in it.
No, I did not see that.
So what Equilibrium is, and sort of what THX is like they live in this dystopian future where they like suppress their emotions. So they're like not allowed to feel things. So they have to, and then like, you know, the main people learn to feel things or whatever, and then shit goes down.
They break the mold.
Yeah, they break the mold, and then like the institution goes after them. It's really good. Really good movie. Both of them, THX and Equilibrium. Fantastic films. Next movie I watched was The Little Things, which is that new HBO movie that came out a few months ago. It has Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. I guess what I'd have to say about this film is like it's very much a movie that's been lost to time. Like, you don't see movies made like this anymore. It's very much a Denzel Washington movie. You know, like, it's like every Denzel Washington movie that I can think of, I can't remember them. You know, it's like you go into the Denzel Washington movie expecting a Denzel Washington movie, but you never really remember what they're about or what happened during them. You're just like, that was a Denzel Washington movie, and that was pretty interesting.
Is that movie? He's the Punisher, but he's not the Punisher.
I don't know.
Where he works at a hardware store and he beats the shit out of people that like steal stuff from there, but he like returns the tools to it. I remember that being one of the scenes of the movie where he like takes a hammer off a shelf and then he kills someone with it, and then he just wipes it off and puts it back on the shelf.
I maybe never saw this film.
It's a good one. I can't remember the title of it right now, but I think they made a sequel that I never saw.
Yeah, The Little Things was pretty good though. And it has some like mystery to it that's interesting. Like, even at the end of the movie, there's some like unanswered questions that are like open ended, and they do it on purpose to make you like think and be like, I wonder what is true. You know, one of those things. It's a sort of like murder mystery, and the movie really gets interesting when Jared Leto shows up. Because his character is just fascinating, and like Jared Leto is really good at playing a.
Just like Justice League.
yeah. But Jared Leto is really good at playing like a sociopath, because I'm pretty sure he is one.
That's why he's so good as the Joker, Jake.
We live in a society.
Who's gonna give you a reach around? Hey, Jared, we need you to laugh like no one's ever laughed in the history of humans. Got it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Anyway, Little Things, it's very forgettable. Next movie I watched was Godzilla from 1952.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the original Godzilla. Dude, this movie holds up so well. I've always been a huge Godzilla fan. This one holds up so well because they do it right. The way they do it is and it's a lot like the 2014 Godzilla, where like Godzilla's more in the background and you're like, what's going on with Godzilla? He's destroying all these cities. What's going on? And you don't really get the payoff until the very end. Same is true for 1952 Godzilla, which is why I always liked 2014's Godzilla, because I really felt like it was an homage to the original Godzilla. Because the movie is way more about like, how do we handle Godzilla? What are we going to do with Godzilla? Godzilla's destroying everything. And then at the end of the movie, you see Godzilla just destroy everything. And it's epic. And it holds up really well. The visuals obviously are dated. It's from 1952, but like, I still think it looks really cool. Like especially in black and white, the way they got that like beam and like the iconic sound of Godzilla, just, you know, like it's so good. And that classic music, the burr, 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 you know, just, it's so good, dude. It's an absolute classic.
All of like the Godzilla movies on HBO at the moment.
I think most of them are, yeah. Yeah, that's how I watched this one. It was on HBO. Another movie that and if you notice, a lot of the movies I watched on HBO, because HBO has the movies, dude. Because another movie I watched,
which brings us to our sponsor this week, HBO. No.
HBO Max, dude. If they want to sponsor me, I would be happy about that. Hell yeah. But another movie I watched on HBO, and this movie was incredible, dude. It's called Judas and the Black Messiah, and it's about the Black Panthers, and one of the leaders of the Black Panthers specifically, and I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it because I really feel like people should just go watch it because it's really just that good. But ultimately, it really makes you question some things about society and what happened during that time and why things happened the way they happened. I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Let me pull this up real quick. Judas Black Messiah.
Nicolas Cage.
Cast. Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya. I'm saying his name wrong. I'm a bad person, but it's the guy from Get Out, and he's like the main role of this one, and he plays like the sort of leader of the Black Panthers, and he's very charismatic, and you really care about him and his cause, and then like one of his like, friends ends up working with the FBI, ultimately leading to the FBI just murdering him. Fred Hampton is his name in the movie. They end up just like murdering him and a bunch of other Black Panthers, and it's really a tragic story, especially at the end when they show some of the clips of him like speaking in interviews, and he was just like very, very articulate and very outgoing and like had a lot to say, and then you find out he was like only 21 years old, and you're like, holy fuck, dude. That is, it's tragic. It really is. It's a fantastic movie though.
Yeah, I might check that out then.
Yeah, it's up for an Oscar.
It sounds interesting, and I love that actor.
Yeah, he's really, really good. Yeah. Yeah, he was. What else was he in? He was in. Oh yeah, he's in Black Panther, right?
Yep.
Speaking of Black Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah, I was slightly confused at first when you said that he was the leader of the Black Panthers. I was like, wait, like.
Oh yeah, he was in Queen and Slim too. That's a good movie too. Damn, he's a great actor. This dude's got a bright future for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, next movie I watched is a movie called Friends with Benefits. Absolute ass. Kind of fun though. It's got Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. They have good chemistry in it. It's a rom-com. You may see us talking about it in the future on the channel. Keep an eye out because we may or may not have compared Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached, which are movies both about two characters who are friends with benefits that came out the same exact year.
Is that episode not out yet of the show?
Oh no, we haven't done it yet. We haven't recorded it yet.
Oh, okay. I may just be remembering you talking about it a while back.
Yeah. That's going to be our next video. That's the next rom-com video, but we have not finished recording or editing it yet. It's soon. Then the next movie I watched after that was another incredible movie. It's also up for an Oscar, called Sound of Metal. This movie was, I didn't expect too much from it, like I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was. But what it is it's about this guy who plays drums in a metal band and ends up going deaf. And the movie is about him learning to deal with being deaf. And the sound design in the movie is some of the best sound design I've ever heard in a movie, because they do such a good job of making you feel like you're deaf too. Where like large portions of the movie are in silence, and like there will just be like some like low end thumps or whatever. It's an incredible film. It's really, really fucking good. Definitely one to check out.
It sounds like some who was that? Beethoven? Was Beethoven the one that was deaf?
One of them. I mean, they say that, right? But was he actually?
Yeah.
They say he was, but like, was he? You know,
Yeah. I
like,
mean, that almost just seems like something you would say about a artist you don't like.
yeah, or it's just like he was so good he could write music while he was deaf. It's like,
Yep.
but like, did he? I don't know.
Yeah. Did he though?
Yeah, did he? Um, Next movie on my list is another great movie. It's also up for an Oscar this year. It's called The Trial of the Chicago 7. Has Sacha Baron Cohen's in it. Another one with like sort of a stacked cast, but it's about these dudes who protested the Vietnam War, and the protest got turned into a riot. They got blamed for the riot, even though people said that it was actually caused by the cops. Very relevant to what happened last year. Sort of a similar tale. Very interesting movie. Yeah, definitely. It's just so interesting to see these movies that are about like the 70s or the 60s or whatever, and they're still just incredibly relevant even today. It's insane. Learn your history, kids. The next movie on my list is the Snyder Cut.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll let you cover this.
I believe you said it was the best superhero movie ever, right? That was your
10 out of 10.
Yep.
It was better than the Whedon cut, that's for sure.
You couldn't say why though.
I could say why. I could tell you why.
Okay.
I actually posted an hour and 18-minute video about why.
I listened to that. It was. I just remember us finishing that movie, and that was your quote was, "That was better than the Whedon cut." I couldn't tell you why though.
Yeah. I think after some more thought, I could tell you why.
Yeah.
But
it's a right movie.
Yeah, I'd still give it like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. It's still not like amazing. Where I'd give like the Whedon cut a 1 star. I
think it's a bit harsh.
I don't think so. 1.5 stars? Is that more fair? I don't know. I don't think it's that harsh. That movie's so bad. Like, I've never seen a movie quite as bad, especially with a movie with that kind of budget. It's equally as bad as The Room, right? If you keep budgets in mind.
Justice League is as bad as The Room.
I would say so, because like if The Room had a $250 million budget, it'd probably be as good as the Justice League.
I mean, there were still cool things in the Whedon cut. I mean, granted, I don't know how much that was Snyder's work.
Yeah, but if Tommy Wiseau was given $250 million, he'd probably have some cool stuff in his movie. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm just picturing Tommy Wiseau being like, "I want to go slow motion."
There's already there is cool things in The Room too, like oh hi doggy, that's some cool stuff.
I've never seen The Room, I'll be honest.
Thanks Tommy, you're my favorite customer. Classic. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh hi, Mark.
Yep, that's the only quote I know from The Room.
No, dude, if you're such a huge fan of Sharknado, we gotta watch The Room. We have to.
We'll see. I make no promises there.
That's a necessity, I think. I'll let you talk about the Snyder Cut if you have anything to say about it.
No, I mean, I figure we can both talk about it a little bit. You already talked about it pretty heavily with Another Austin.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, so. Yeah, you say your piece.
Yeah, it was a cool movie. I'll never watch it again in my entire life because it's too fucking long. But
unless I do something for like this channel, that requires me watching it again, you know? Because
Yeah,
I consider this my job or whatever. But like,
I guess
in,
that's the thing is
unless there's
I'll
something
watch a
like that,
movie.
I'll never watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if all of our friends for whatever fucking reason want to be like, yo, we should all hang out and watch the Schneider cut. I'll be like, sure, I'm gonna get hammered, but I'll go pretend to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, like when things open back up, if like a bunch of our friends are like, "Hey, let's go to IMAX and see the Snyder Cut in IMAX," I might be like, "Oh, all right," you
Yeah,
know, like I might be
there was cool
interested in.
things in the movie.
Yeah, I might be interested in seeing it in IMAX. You know, considering
Yeah,
like that's the way it was designed, was to be seen in IMAX, like with the weird framing of it and stuff. Like I might be interested.
are they making a Flash movie?
Yeah,
Okay, because
yeah.
I do enjoy that actor, and the Flash was I think my favorite part of that movie.
I do think the Flash is in a bit of like development hell. Like I think all of those properties are
Oh
right
shit,
now, where it's
sorry.
like I don't know. I think they're a little confused on like what to do with like all the Zack Snyder stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like do we continue
because
with it or do we scrap it or like what do we do?
do we make the Schneiderverse or
But like the Flash might be an interesting way to handle it because they could easily just do like the Flashpoint paradox and be like, there's different universes and
yeah,
there you go. You know, that's how we have, you know, Vampire Batman with Robert Pattinson, and we also have, you know, Daredevil Batman with Ben Affleck.
yeah. You could also have that's that could tie into the CW world and stuff like that.
It already
CW
has.
shows.
It actually already has because I think in the CW shows they did a Flashpoint paradox sort of thing, and Ezra Miller's Flash showed up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, yeah. But that might have been just more of like a, you know, wink
Yeah,
nod. But he was in the costume and like he was there, so. But yeah, I think if they did a Flashpoint Paradox is one of the most interesting stories in DC Comics. So I
yeah.
think it's worth doing because I'd also like to see like you know they kind of I don't know like it'd be cool to have like Thomas Wayne show up and like I don't know it'd be cool.
They could get that actor back that played him. He plays the comedian in Watchmen.
Right, yeah, exactly. And he'd be a perfect Thomas Wayne. And I feel like he was kind of
Yeah,
setting that up. Because they wouldn't just have that actor be his dad for no reason. You know? Like
yeah. I can't.
he'd be a great Thomas Wayne, I think.
Yeah, I love that actor. He's in Rampage. He's in Walking Dead as Negan.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm. He always had a hammer, right? Something like that.
Yep, a baseball bat.
That's what it was. Whatever it was.
Lucille. I had that baseball bat in my corner.
Never really got into it, but I watched some.
Yeah,
I watched enough to know that it was a some sort of weapon.
he always has some sort of. It's like an AR-15. I don't
um yeah, I don't know. Snyder Cut. It
know.
is
It's
a
a
movie.
movie.
I am
Don't watch it.
I am curious to see what the future of DC holds. You know, like I'm curious, like with that new Batman that comes out next year. Like, is that going to be connected to the Joker movie? I don't know. Like, it's interesting, and like the new Suicide
Are
Squad
they still
movie.
making a Joker movie? Oh, never mind.
The
Joker is in the
yeah, Joker already
Joaquin
happened.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you were talking about they're making a
Jared
Joker
Leto.
movie with. Yeah, there you go.
No, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what happens, and maybe it'll just turn into like it was in the past, where these movies were all just sort of one-offs, you know, where Batman wasn't connected to Superman. These were just the movies, you know. These were just the movies that existed. Like 2006 Superman had nothing to do with Christopher Nolan's Batman. You know what I mean?
Think they'll get Ryan Reynolds back to be Green Lantern?
No.
They just go, here's $1 billion. Be in our movie, please.
I think Ryan Reynolds is over at Disney, and I think he'll be happy to work with Disney until he dies.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing stuff outside of Disney.
Like what?
He was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh shit, was he?
Yeah, he plays essentially the uh he essentially still plays Wade Wilson from Deadpool in Hobbs and Shaw, but
I feel
he's
like
in it.
that's all he can play now. Like that's
Yeah,
it's like the only character he knows how to play.
I mean, granted, he's still great in that movie, but
Well, yeah, and like to be fair, Wade Wilson is basically just a heightened version of Van Wilder. You know, like he's been playing the same character for years and years. So,
I mean, it works though.
but like Freeman, that's a Fox movie, um, which is Disney. So I feel like and then he's making a new Deadpool. It's I don't know. I don't think he'd want to go back over to DC.
Free Man, what was that?
Freeman is that movie where he's like an NPC in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I was making sure.
Then he finds out he doesn't have to be an NPC or whatever. I don't know.
I thought that was called The Guy, but that may just be what his name is.
No, I think it's called Freeman. It's supposed to come out last year. Never did. It'll come out probably at the end of this year at some point. I have 2 more movies on here, so we're almost done.
Free Guy is what it's called.
Free Guy. Okay. That sounds better than Freeman, I guess.
Yeah.
Bad Trip, which was that's that new Eric Andre movie. Which is just a giant prank movie, but it has a narrative like intertwined with it, and it's fucking hilarious. Eric Andre is the king of pranks. He's just got that Adult Swim comedy just on lock, and Tiffany Haddish is in it, and she's incredible. Yeah, the movie's hilarious. And it doesn't overstay its welcome with like a nice runtime of 120. Like it's perfect. It's really good.
It's also got another actor from Get Out.
Oh, is that the dude from?
Yes, Lil Rel Howie.
Was he like?
Oh wait, no. Wait, is that the character? No, yeah, that's his name.
Who was he in Get Out?
He's the TSA worker.
Oh, right. He's only in it for like a few seconds, but yeah.
Yeah, but he saves the good guy.
Yeah, he's great in Bad Trip, dude. Like he's hilarious. He's sort of the Hannibal Buress of this movie, where he's sort of the right hand man to Eric Andre, and the shit he does in that movie, you're like, damn, you're just as crazy as Eric Andre to do some of that shit, like.
So is it like a Jackass movie where they film the stunts like in front of people and people react to it, or is it?
It's a prank movie.
Scripted? Okay.
It's a prank movie, but like the pranks have narrative to make them make sense. Like there's one where he's like, "Man, I'm so excited to hang out with you. We should go to a bar." So they end up going to this like really like honky tonk white bar where there's like a bunch of square dancing, and like so then Eric Andre like drinks a ton of booze and he like gets up on top of like this building and like falls off the side of it, and then he starts like projectile vomiting on everyone.
So it's kind of like a Bad Grandpa, I guess, was like that.
Yeah. It's sort of like that. But I would say it's done much better.
Yeah.
The pranks are just funnier because like Johnny Knoxville is all like, the prank is me just hurting myself,
Yeah.
Where Eric Andre actually is like makes people question some of their life decisions, and it's just like there's one where Tiffany Haddish hangs Eric Andre off the side of a building, and everyone's like at this taco truck, and everyone's like just staring at her hanging him off the side of this building, like about to drop him off this like 4-story building. It's just like it's really good. It's really funny. There's some really good pranks.
Was it called Bad Trip?
Yeah, Bad Trip.
I'll have to add that to my list.
Yeah, it's really good. And the last movie I watched. Go
Can I
ahead.
guess this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this Godzilla versus King Kong?
It is.
Oh
It
shit!
is. I talked about this movie a little bit in my car review. Um, and I gotta say, the more I think about it, the more I kind of love this movie. I don't know, like it's so much fun, and it's just so stupid. Kong has a fucking axe, you know, like he's got a fucking battle axe,
He's
and
got a battle axe made out of Godzilla's scales.
yeah, and like King Kong like drinks the blood of his enemies, and like
Yeah.
and Godzilla is just like a big beefy boy. He's just like the biggest beefiest boy. And then like it's also really cool seeing Godzilla like run around on all fours, like he's like a little salamander, like just running around the city. Like it's so good, dude. I really like that stuff. The human stuff is really bad. Um
That's what I was gonna bring up. I feel like these kaiju movies always people always remember them or enjoy them more as they get further away from them because they forget all the human shit.
I
You
feel
just
like
remember the big monster fight.
this one out of all of them though has like the least amount of that stuff, which makes it better, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's more going on in it for sure.
And the fact that this one doesn't like cock tease you at all. Um like the first one definitely cock teases you, where it's like you literally see these monsters fighting and it cuts away like constantly. And then like King of the Monsters, it shows you more of the action, but it still cuts away to like the human stuff. This movie, it's like, no, we're just gonna show you a 30-minute on-cut section of this movie where it's just Kong fighting Godzilla for 30 minutes straight. You know, like they don't pull their punches in this movie at all. So I appreciate it on that level alone.
Super good movie.
Well, that's my list. That's all I've got. That's all she wrote.
Right.
I appreciate you joining me on this journey.
Yeah. I got some movies added to my list to watch now.
That's fantastic. I hope to have you
Judas
back.
and
Maybe next time you can cover for me, and you and Cory can have a loving conversation together about me.
Oh yeah, dude. We'll talk about cooking or something. I don't know. What else we would talk about?
That's true. You are Mr. Cookman. So
yeah.
But
I appreciate you having me on. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I had a good time. Make sure you check out the other Lonercast shows. Doing plugs here. Sorry. Make sure you check out the other Lonercast shows, like the Loner Gamecast, which comes out live on Twitch every Monday around 3:30. And then it goes everywhere else on Tuesday. Make sure you check out this show, which goes live every Monday. Yeah, and we've got all sorts of different stuff coming to the channel. We've been doing a spoiler cast for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we've been dropping every Wednesday. We plan on continuing that through Loki and stuff like that, so we'll keep doing that forever probably. And we've also got other spoiler cast stuff, like we just did a long spoiler cast for Snyder Cut, and whatever else we see fit, we will do a spoiler cast for it. So
I think do you think you'll do one for Mortal Kombat?
I don't know if we'll do a spoiler cast. I'll probably do like a car review for it though.
Okay. So excited for that movie.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's just gonna be stupid and gruesome. I don't think there's gonna be like a lot of like spoilers per se to talk about in that movie. You know what I mean?
Out this week, Jake.
I know. I'm excited.
But
a few of our friends just got vaccinated, so maybe I'll.
Yeah, I get vaccinated on Friday.
Oh no way!
I get my second dose on Friday.
Well, congrats.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna put people's fingers in my mouth. Can't wait. But
I'll be waiting.
Is this where I say 5, 6, 7, 8 again? Or is that just at the start of the show?
Oh yeah, that's it. You nailed it.
Okay. It already happened.
Yep, I'm just gonna use that 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. All right.